The morning light touches the curtains softly. A quiet room, a steaming cup of tea, and the sound of slow breathing. For many over 60, this calm moment begins with stiffness. The knees feel heavy. The lower back whispers a dull reminder of time. Movement becomes slower, not from age but from stillness. The body asks for motion, for warmth, for life to flow again. Have you ever stood up after sitting too long and felt that tug behind your back? That small ache that fades when you stretch, yet always returns. Today we'll talk about a simple move, the knee-to-toe bend. It's not a workout, not a challenge, but a quiet conversation with your body. A way to bring blood flowing gently through your legs and spine. A movement that invites comfort back into your day. Imagine bending softly, breathing deeply, and feeling your body wake up. Each slow bend like a wave of warmth running down your back. It's simple, natural, and possible for anyone. Even if you haven't exercised in years, this is a new beginning. Because every step, every breath, every bend counts. So take a sip of tea, find your balance, and let's begin. The day begins like any other. The clock ticks quietly, the house still half asleep. Outside, a soft wind moves through the trees. Inside, Mr. Thomas sits at the kitchen table, holding his cup of tea. He looks out the window, watching the sunlight touch the garden. It used to be his favorite place, full of color and peace. But lately, even walking there feels like a slow climb uphill. His back tightens after sitting too long. His knees feel heavy when he bends to tie his shoes. He sighs, rubbing the small of his back with gentle fingers. It's not pain exactly, just a deep, familiar stiffness. He tells himself it's age, just the way things go. But inside, he wonders if it has to be that way. He remembers the days when he would kneel in the garden for hours, pulling weeds, planting seeds, feeling the earth beneath his hands. Those mornings left him tired, but never sore. Now, even short walks around the block leave his back aching. He laughs softly at himself, half amused, half frustrated. It's just part of getting older, he mutters. But a quiet voice inside whispers, maybe it's not. That voice stays with him through the day. It echoes while he folds laundry and sits down again. The stiffness grows, the muscles tighten, and the thought returns. Maybe he's been too still, too quiet for too long. The body is meant to move, to flow like a river. When it doesn't, everything slows, the blood, the breath, the ease of life. He remembers reading once that movement is medicine. But it doesn't have to mean running, lifting, or sweating. Just gentle motion, simple and kind. He stands up and stretches, feeling his back resist. It's a small act, but it sparks something inside him. The sunlight catches the edge of the table, warm and golden. He closes his eyes, imagining what it would feel like to move freely again. To walk through the garden without that dull pull in his spine. He dreams of mornings filled with energy, not effort. The stiffness is not a punishment, it's a message. A quiet reminder that stillness has a cost. Every hour of sitting is an invitation to move again. He realizes how easily the days have turned into routines of rest. Chairs, screens, waiting, comfort, but not movement. His body hasn't forgotten how to move. It just needs a reason. He takes another sip of tea, a small smile forming. There's a kind of hope in the thought that it's not too late. Not too late to change, not too late to move again. He stands once more, this time on purpose. The floor feels solid beneath his feet. He bends his knees slightly, careful and slow. It's just a test, but it feels good, almost natural. Blood stirs gently through his legs. He feels warmth where there was stiffness. For the first time in a long while, he feels connected. Not just to his body, but to something deeper, the will to move. Outside, the garden waits, patient and green. Inside, something new begins, quiet but real. And with one more slow bend, Mr. Thomas smiles. A few weeks later, the weather turns bright and clear. Mr. Thomas receives an invitation from the local community center. A wellness workshop for seniors, it says. Gentle movement, balance, and posture for healthy aging. He hesitates at first, unsure if it's really for him. He's never been much for group activities. But the word gentle catches his attention. Maybe it won't be too hard, he thinks. On Saturday morning, he walks there, taking slow, steady steps. The room smells faintly of wood polish and morning coffee. People chat softly, mats spread across the floor. He finds a spot near the back, close to the window. A cheerful instructor welcomes everyone with a warm smile. Her voice is calm, patient, kind. We're not here to push limits, she says. We're here to rediscover how our bodies like to move. Mr. Thomas nods, though his knees already feel stiff. The instructor begins with deep breathing, slow and rhythmic. In through the nose, out through the mouth, she guides. He feels the air fill his lungs, then leave in a long, soothing sigh. The room grows quiet, only the sound of breath remains. Then she introduces a small motion, the knee-to-toe-bend. It's simple, she says, but powerful when done with care. Feet shoulder-width apart, knees soft, body relaxed. Slowly bend your knees, she instructs. Reach toward your toes, not to touch them but to feel the stretch. Mr. Thomas follows, his back uncertain but willing. The first bend feels awkward, his balance a little unsure. But the second one feels smoother, more natural. The blood begins to move, warmth spreading through his legs. He feels alive, as if the stiffness begins to fade. The instructor's voice guides them through each motion. Don't rush, she says. Let your body lead the pace. Each bend becomes a quiet rhythm, a small dance of breath and motion. He starts to feel the connection, knees, hips, spine working together. A simple flow, gentle yet full of energy. He looks around and sees others smiling too. Some move slowly, some a little shaky, but all are trying. And for the first time in a long while, he doesn't feel alone in his effort. He realizes movement can be shared, even silent movement. After 10 minutes, they pause and breathe deeply again. Mr. Thomas feels warmth through his back, a soft ease replacing the usual tightness. He hadn't realized how much tension he'd been carrying. The instructor smiles at him, noticing the calm on his face. Movement, she says, is the body's way of saying thank you. He laughs quietly, surprised at how true it feels. When the class ends, he lingers by the window for a moment. The sunlight rests gently on his shoulders. He bends once more, slow and careful, just to feel it again. That simple bend feels like a promise, one he wants to keep. He walks home lighter, his steps easy, his spirit lifted. The garden greets him with open green arms. And as he stands there, he knows something has changed. Not in the world around him, but within him, a quiet beginning. The next morning, sunlight slips through the kitchen window. Mr. Thomas wakes early, his mind still calm from yesterday's class. He stands by the counter, remembering the gentle voice of the instructor. Feet apart, knees soft, spine straight, breathe slowly. He takes a deep breath, letting his body settle into stillness. Then with care, he begins the first slow bend. His knees lower, his back stretches, his fingertips drift toward his toes. He doesn't force it, just lets gravity do its quiet work. The movement feels smoother now, less foreign, more natural. He rises slowly, breathing out, feeling warmth bloom through his legs. Again he bends, listening to his body's rhythm. Each breath guides each motion, a small wave rising and falling. He feels the muscles in his thighs wake up, the blood begin to flow. There's a lightness where stiffness used to live. It's not exercise in the old sense, no rush, no strain, no finish line. It's conversation, a calm dialogue between mind and body. He notices how the movement connects everything: knees, hips, and back. Each joint joins in, moving like notes in a slow melody. The spine lengthens as he bends, then gently shortens as he stands tall. The breath flows in harmony with motion, life circulating through every limb. He remembers how the instructor called it, a gift to your back. It tells your spine you haven't forgotten it, she said. And now he understands what she meant. The back doesn't need punishment, it needs kindness. It needs motion that reminds it of strength, not of struggle. He bends again, slower this time, feeling each vertebra align and stretch. He can almost sense the blood moving freely, like a river finding its path. The pressure eases, the lower back feels supported, not burdened. This small action brings something unexpected: calm. A quiet peace, carried by breath and rhythm. He realizes that the real power of the movement isn't in the body alone. It's in awareness, the act of noticing yourself come alive. Each bend clears a little fog from his morning. Each rise feels like lifting a small weight from his spirit. He begins to imagine doing this every day, not as a chore, but as a ritual. A gentle greeting between him and his own body. He smiles, thinking how simple it is, yet how deeply it works. Outside, the garden calls softly through the open window. He finishes his bends and steps out to feel the fresh air. His back feels lighter, his steps more sure. Even the breeze seems to move through him, not around him. He looks down at his legs, grateful for their quiet strength. The morning sun warms his shoulders as he stretches once more. He bends slowly, rises slowly, and breathes with ease. In that small motion, he finds something rare: control and surrender at once. The day begins not with stiffness, but with flow. And for the first time in years, his body feels like home again. Days turn into weeks, and the practice becomes part of his mornings. Mr. Thomas no longer thinks about it. His body simply remembers. Each dawn greets him with a quiet rhythm: bend, breathe, rise, release. He notices the difference first in small ways. Tying his shoes no longer feels like bending over a mountain. Getting up from a chair happens with ease, without that familiar groan. The ache in his lower back, once constant, now only whispers faintly. He smiles at how something so simple can bring so much relief. The movement feels like oil for old hinges, smooth and silent. He feels warmth where cold stiffness used to sit. Even walking to the market feels lighter, his steps more balanced. The woman at the bakery asks if he's been exercising. He laughs, saying, "Just bending a little every morning." She laughs too, not realizing how much that little means. He notices his breath, deeper, slower, steadier than before. The air feels cleaner somehow, as if it carries more life. He stands taller without even trying. The curve in his back softens, his shoulders open to the world. The small pains that once ruled his days begin to fade quietly. It's not magic, but it feels like it. Each movement is a message to his body: you still can. And his body answers, "Yes, I remember." The garden sees him again, not as a visitor, but as its old friend. He kneels to pull a few weeds, expecting the usual pinch of pain. But it doesn't come, only the gentle stretch of muscle and bone. The soil feels cool and alive under his hands. He breathes in deeply, the scent of earth and grass filling his chest. It feels like coming home, not just to a place, but to himself. Later that afternoon, he sits on the porch, feeling the air shift around him. He bends slightly, testing his back once more. The motion feels light, free, full of quiet power. He realizes the kneetotoebends have become more than exercise. They are a reminder of patience, of listening, of slow renewal. His body doesn't resist movement anymore. It welcomes it. Even his mind feels clearer, his thoughts less cluttered. Each morning becomes a small victory, a quiet declaration of strength. He starts telling his friends at the cafe about it. They smile politely, the way people do when something sounds too simple. But he can see curiosity in their eyes. He invites one of them, Mr. Lee, to try it beside him one morning. They laugh as they wobble, steady themselves, and find the rhythm. Soon others join, a small group of early risers in the park. Bending, breathing, rising together in the morning light. No rush, no pressure, just gentle motion and shared peace. Mr. Thomas looks around and feels a quiet pride. What began as a small act of relief has become a circle of connection. The body, he realizes, heals best when it moves with kindness. And in that kindness, he rediscovers not only health but joy. One morning, a new face appears in the park. A woman in her early 40s, wearing a bright yellow jacket. She introduces herself as Claire, a physiotherapist from the community clinic. She's heard about the small group of morning movers. Her smile is warm, her eyes curious but kind. Mr. Thomas welcomes her and explains how it all began. She listens with interest, nodding as he speaks. Then she says softly, "You've all discovered something very important." She joins their circle, standing barefoot on the soft grass. Her voice carries calm confidence as she speaks. "The body loves rhythm," she says, "and movement is its music." She shows them small adjustments to their form. Don't lean forward too much. Let your spine guide the bend. Keep your feet grounded, your breathing steady. Her presence brings a new layer of understanding. She explains how the knees support blood flow when they bend, how the gentle pressure helps pump blood upward to the heart, how the motion strengthens the muscles around the spine. Mr. Thomas listens closely, fascinated by her simple explanations. It all makes sense now, the warmth, the balance, the energy. Each bend isn't just movement, it's circulation, renewal, and healing. Claire tells them about the connection between posture and mood. When you move well, she says, your mind feels lighter too. She reminds them not to push too far, not to chase perfection. Your body learns through kindness, not force. The group nods, some smiling with quiet relief. There's comfort in knowing they don't have to strive, only to listen. Claire leads them through a few bends together. Her movements are slow, graceful, like waves folding into the shore. She counts softly, timing each breath with each motion. Inhale as you rise, exhale as you bend. The rhythm feels natural, like something ancient returning. Even the breeze seems to follow their movement. Mr. Thomas feels the blood move through his legs with each gentle curve. His lower back feels supported, strong yet flexible. He looks around and sees faces glowing with calm. People who once feared motion now move with quiet confidence. When they finish, Claire claps her hands softly. "Well done," she says. "You've built something wonderful here." She tells them she'll visit every few weeks to check in, to guide, to share, to remind them of the beauty of gentle movement. As the group disperses, Mr. Thomas stays for a moment. He thanks her, his voice steady but full of emotion. She smiles and replies, "Keep moving, Mr. Thomas. Your body is listening." He watches her leave, her bright jacket glowing in the sun. He bends once more slowly, feeling the strength in his spine. Each bend now feels like gratitude to his body, his breath, his life. He knows the movement has become more than habit. It become understanding, the quiet science of staying alive with grace. The days move softly into autumn. The air turns cool. The mornings arrive wrapped in silver light. Mr. Thomas still wakes early, his routine steady and calm. He stands by the window, breathing in the quiet of dawn. Outside, the park waits, familiar, peaceful, alive. He steps out, his shoes brushing the damp grass. The group has grown since the first morning. Old friends, new faces, even a few young ones curious to join. They greet each other with soft smiles and sleepy laughter. There is no rush, no competition, just gentle movement and shared breath. They begin together, bending slowly in the cool morning air. Feet grounded, knees soft, spines flowing like reeds in the wind. The rhythm feels almost like prayer, quiet, steady, sincere. Mr. Thomas feels the warmth spread through his legs. The blood moves easily now, the stiffness long forgotten. Each motion connects him to something larger than himself. The earth beneath, the breath within, the sky above. He remembers the first day. He tried the bend by his kitchen table. How uncertain he felt, how strange his body seemed. Now every bend feels like coming home. He can sense every muscle working, every heartbeat answering. It's not just an exercise anymore. It's part of his being. Claire arrives a few minutes later, her yellow jacket bright against the trees. She waves and joins the circle, guiding them with her calm voice. Remember, she says, movement is not just for the body but for the mind. Each time you bend, you remind yourself you're still growing. Her words settle over the group like sunlight on skin. Mr. Thomas feels a quiet pride, not in strength but in presence. He sees how the others move now, confident, balanced, alive. It makes him think of how easily life can return when given a little care. The motion is simple, but its meaning deepens with every repetition. It teaches patience, awareness, and trust in the body's wisdom. When they finish, the group stands together in silence. The world feels still, but their bodies hum with gentle energy. Claire smiles and says, "This is how you build longevity with kindness." Mr. Thomas nods, his heart steady, his breath slow. He looks around and sees what they've created, a quiet community of movement. Not driven by speed or strength, but by connection and gratitude. Later at home, he sits by the window with his cup of tea. The garden glows with soft gold as leaves begin to fall. He bends once more slowly, his body following memory. The motion is small, but its echo runs deep inside him. Each bend still feels like a promise kept to himself, to his life. He smiles, thinking of how far a simple act has carried him. From stiffness to freedom, from stillness to flow. He whispers softly, "Movement is life." And as the day opens before him, calm and bright, he knows that every gentle bend will keep his spirit young. For in every slow rise there is renewal, quiet, lasting, and full of grace. The sun sinks low, painting the sky in soft gold. Mr. Thomas stands by his garden, the air cool and quiet. He bends once more, slow and steady, the motion now second nature. Each breath feels full, each rise light and effortless. He no longer thinks of stiffness or age. He thinks of balance, of rhythm, of peace within movement. The gentle bend has become his morning and evening song. A reminder that care begins with a single motion. He looks at his hands, strong and calm, shaped by time and kindness. The garden hums softly around him, alive in its quiet way. He straightens, breathes deeply, and feels warmth bloom in his back. It's not youth he's found again, but harmony. The kind that comes when you listen to your body's small requests. He smiles, knowing the secret isn't hidden or hard. It's simple to move, to breathe, to keep flowing. He whispers to himself, "Every bend is a thank you." And as twilight gathers around the trees, his heart beats steady, his body light, his spirit clear. In the silence that follows, he feels whole again. A man moving gently through time, one breath, one bend at a time.